Pickle, let's go to the hotline, and let's bring in the Hall of Fame voice of the Texas Longhorns, the Hall of Fame voice of Texas high school football, the Hall of Fame contributor to Texan Live, I can say now.
Yeah.
We are go to the phone lines now to bring in the great Craig Way, Texan Live's own Craig Way. I'm just gonna claim you for us. That's just the way it's gonna go, Craig.
I'm fine being claimed. It's okay. I've lived a life of being unclaimed at times, so I'm good with that. And looking forward to it. It's going to be fun Thursday night.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, it's going to be Craig Way and I on the call on Texan Live for Pflugerville, Weiss, and Georgetown in a pretty big showdown there in Central Texas. Pflugerville Weiss can clinch the outright district championship with a win. Georgetown's kind of in the thick of it, trying to shore up as best of a position as they can. Craig, I know you're already starting your prep work there with Georgetown and Pflugerville Weiss. With this game in particular, what are you going to have your eye on? What jumps out to you about this matchup we're going to see there at the Field on Thursday?
Well, both teams do have exciting offenses, and both can get it up and down the field. And Weiss is not afraid to get in a shootout, and neither is Georgetown for that matter. In fact, they had one of those last week, and they've put some points on the board, which, by the way, Tep, I should point this out. Their propensity to put points on the board has put the Eagles in a good position should they fall into a three-way tiebreak. Now, if let's just say if these two things happen this weekend out of that district, 11-5 AD1, Manor, which the computer apparently thinks is 2 points better than Cedar Park. If Manor were to win that game over Cedar Park, and then Pflugerville-Hendrickson were to beat Pflugerville. Now, the computer is more enamored with the Panthers, with Pflugerville High. But Hendrickson has pulled some surprise. They've beaten Cedar Park this year. So if Hendrickson were to beat Pflugerville and Manor were to win, and even if Weiss were to win, Georgetown's in a three-way tiebreak at that point. Georgetown there with Hendrickson and Cedar Park. You know who the odd team out is? Cedar Park.
Wow.
Cedar Park, state finalist a year ago, and it's not that far-fetched a situation where the T-Wolves could completely miss out on the playoffs if those things happen. So, and a big part of that would be Georgetown beat Hendrickson earlier this year 62-3, and then Hendrickson has, I think, a 5-point win over Cedar Park. So, and Cedar Park has a 3-point win over Georgetown. So, the tie breaks would knock them out if those things were to happen. We'll see. And then, of course, it could come down to, if Georgetown beats Weiss, then they're completely out of what could be the potential tiebreak anyway. So the point is, there are things at stake as you and I slide into the booth at the Field in Pflugerville on Thursday night.
It's one thing that stinks. And look, I know you've got a straight gig, right? I get it. But I am sad you're not going to be on Scoreboard with us. You're not going to be on the desk because you're going to be up in Ames for Texas and Iowa State, which is a bummer because I know this is one of your favorite weeks of the year. I know that it pains you to not be in the mix of it. So then how are you going to consume this week 11, which I know you hold very dear to your heart?
Well, to your point, I've told people my three favorite nights of the year are season opener, state championship Saturday or Friday during that weekend, of course, and the final Friday night of the regular season, which happens to be this week, because as I always like to say, that's when you unwrap the playoff package. That's when you find out who's in, who's out, what it took to get some teams in and some teams out. And I've been around, I've been able to bear personal witness to bizarre coin flips, the things of that nature, and tiebreakers and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of part of the fabric of this game. It might not be a favorite part of the fabric, especially for coaches, but it's still part of the fabric of what Texas high school football is all about. Now, to your question, obviously, as I sit in a hotel room, I think the team will be staying in Ankeny, Iowa, which is between Des Moines and Ames. So I think as I sit in my hotel room in Ankeny, Iowa, I'll be keeping up with the Football Friday app. I'll be watching when I go. And then I am joining you guys probably our producer Patrick Madrowski and I worked this out probably late in the show after all the coaches have had their say. So just we can come back and look at the smoldering ruins of the end of the regular season on that final Friday night and try to make sense of it. So I will be popping on with you, Enrico, and the crew on Friday.
I will also say, and I know you would love to be there, but I also know that there has to be at least some semblance of relief that you don't have to try to figure out tiebreakers live on the air on television. Guys, I promise you, we're going to try our best, but it's just like we just kind of need the dust to settle, and if I don't know immediately what's going on Friday night, that's okay. Like I promise you, we will figure it all out who's getting in. But that is always one of the more I don't want to say frustrating, but one of the singular moments of the year is it's going to get to about 10:30 p.m. and people are going to be saying, "Well, who's playing who?" And my answer at that point is going to be like, "I don't know. I need to get out an abacus. I need to figure out. I need to make a phone call."
Yeah, mine has been less about who's playing who and more about not declaring someone legally dead.
Yeah.
You know, where you've said, and I've done that before years ago when you say, well, so-and-so based on this is in and so-and-so is out. So you make that declaration on there. Then you find out from somebody, no, it was a positive points only tiebreaker, or just the opposite. No, it was a plus minus. Therefore, Team A is not in, they're out, and Team B is in. So you stupid idiot, you got it wrong. You know, that you run that risk. But you know what? That's kind of the tightrope we walk, Tep, on that final Friday night of the regular season. Adds a little dangerous thrill to it. Can you get it right? Can you get it, get the details nailed down and be correct? It's part of what we do, why we do those things. So it's kind of important for us to make sure that we nail down those details if we can. It's a lot of fun. It's a challenge.
It is. All right. There is, of course, a game down in your neck of the woods in Austin that a few people are thinking about. Of course, they're thinking about the Pflugerville-Weiss and Georgetown game, which you can watch live on TexanLive.com with Craig Way and I on the call. There's another small game, I suppose, with Austin Westlake and Lake Travis going at it. It has been 2 years since they've played. It has been a minute. All eyes are going to be on who's playing quarterback for Westlake, who does Kate Klubnik play, et cetera, et cetera. I know you talk with both coaches on a pretty frequent basis. Let me just ask a broad question. What is your feel for this game? Because it strikes me that for as much as we want to get excited about these high-flying offenses, the strength of both these teams may, in fact, lie on their athletic and improving defenses as the season has progressed.
I couldn't agree more. They've got Lake Travis's defense has really gotten better and ratcheted it up in the second half of the season. And we talked last week about how they may have quietly kind of flown under the radar after the early season non-district loss, but they have cruised through the rest of late. They're getting a couple of banged up defensive players back this week too, a starter in the secondary and a starter on the defensive line, according to Hank Carter, who was on my show this morning. And which of course then begs the other question, what happens with Westlake? Does Cade Klubnik play? If I were guessing, and I haven't visited with Todd Dodge this week, and I won't get a chance to visit with him tomorrow, he'll be on our show, but I won't be on our show because I have a board meeting for the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame up in Waco. So I'm going to miss the show tomorrow. But if I were guessing, knowing Todd Dodge as I know him, it would not surprise me to hear him say, we're going to sit Cade one more week, because in the final analysis, what is this game for? Two things, bragging rights and a gold ball for the district title. That's it. It doesn't affect seeding. It doesn't affect any of that stuff because Lake Travis is going Division I and Westlake's going D2. There's like, in talking to Hank Carter about it, his biggest concern is not winning or losing the game. He wants to get everybody out of that game healthy. That's what he wants. And I'm sure that Coach Dodge wants the same thing. He wants to get those guys out of the game and healthy. And if he can get those guys out of that and ready for the bi-district round of the playoffs, so much the better. And that I think is the concern for both head coaches. Now, having said all that, it's a fascinating matchup, and it is a rivalry thing. And Hank Carter did say that they have noticed more electricity, and this is always the case with this game every year, more electricity from the community, from the families. He said, I think every player has had a nice breakfast for them cooked every morning by their moms, because all the moms are fired up about this game. So that's kind of what the temperature is of this game, whereas the coaches are trying to keep their kids just focused on playing a good football game, get out of it healthy, and let's move on to the postseason.
One last question for Craig Way, the Texas High School Football Hall of Famer, joins us every Tuesday here on Texas Football Today, and it is, of course, the mean one that I ask him every week. Craig, I'm going to give you an option in this magical world where you don't have to be in what was the name of the town in Iowa?
Ankeny.
Ankeny. Okay.
Sure.
You don't have to be in Ankeny, Iowa. You can teleport to any of these 3 Texas high school football games. I'm intentionally leaving out Westlake and Lake Travis. So you can go to the Star in Frisco and watch Denton Ryan and Frisco Lone Star. You can go to Forsan, Texas, and watch unbeaten Hawley and unbeaten Forsan, or you can go, I believe this game is in Matador. You can go to Matador, Texas, and watch Motley County and Jayton. Which of those 3 games are you teleporting to?
I'm going to Matador. Yes, Matador is the place there in Motley County, because those 2, even though it's 1-7 in the state in your rankings, I think it's a pretty evenly matched game. I like it an awful lot. That's probably the one that I would be most inclined to attend. The other 2 games, I think, are show me games, show me opportunities for Lone Star, and another show me opportunity that you're talking about in the case of Forsan. So I want to see how they do, because I think Hawley and Ryan are probably expected to handle their business. But it could wind up being, they're all really good matchups between top 10 ranked teams. So that's a lot of fun to go. And the other thing it's going to be interesting to watch, we talk about these crazy playoff races. We've been talking about 13 3A Division II for a while. There exists a mathematical possibility of a 4-way tie for the last playoff spot. Realistically, I don't think it'll happen, but there is a shot at a 4-way tie for the last playoff spot, and certainly a 3-way tie could be a real possibility. So, yeah, that's all up there. And, by the way, one final note about Ankeny. You don't want to sleep on Ankeny, Iowa, too much. They have a joint in that town called the Leaning Tower of Pizza, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good, especially for Iowa.
You should Pickle is literally booking a flight right now to Ankeny.
Yeah, I'll see you there Saturday.
Yeah. He's Craig Way. He's a Texas High School Football Hall of Famer. Joins us every Tuesday here on Texas Football Day. Hear him on the Horn in Austin, and of course on High School Scoreboard Live most Friday nights. He'll join us remotely Friday night, but catch him on the call of Iowa State and Texas on the Texas Radio Network by Learfield. Craig, appreciate your time, my friend. I will miss you desperately on Friday, but we can unwrap the present.
We'll look forward to it, and I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. And I'm trying to talk Pickle into joining us. We could use a spotter in the booth, right?
Hey,
there you
go. There you go. Appreciate you, Craig.
All right, see you guys.
Bye,
there you go. It's Craig Way, the Texas High School Hall of Famer. Hear him on the call of Pflugerville Weiss and Georgetown on TexanLive.com. It'll be myself on color, but most importantly, Craig on play-by-play. And I guess that's one of the things I want to point out. And I just want to say, guys, Craig doesn't call a ton of high school games.
No.
Like, he basically does, like, the state championships. He does, like, Texas football days. And then there might be, like, 1 or 2 sprinkled in the middle. Like, this is an event. This is a big deal. So please, TexasLive.com, make sure you're watching Pflugerville Weiss and Georgetown. It's going to be a lot of fun. Big game down there in Central Texas. I've never been to the Field, so it's going to be fun.
Looky there.
A
new experience in all sorts of ways. Exciting stuff.
Working on my spotter boards right now.
There you go.
Appreciate Craig White hopping on with us.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.